every listing you take should give you an additional 3 to 5 new listing opportunities. You should be able to take 3 to 5 additional listings every time you take one listing. In this video, I'm going to go over 5 simple steps that you can implement in your business, whether you're a new agent, whether you're a veteran agent, that will help you generate these extra additional listings every time you list one property. It's extremely powerful. You don't have to be highly skilled to do these things. It's simply making a choice to go ahead and do them. Many of these things, 3 of the 5 things I'm going to share with you, only take a few seconds. And the other 2 are one of the most efficient things you can do, with your time as a real estate agent. So before I get into it, if this video is helpful, click subscribe, and don't be shy. If you have questions, call, text, email. I'm always happy to help, always happy to dive in and see what I can do to assist. And if you want a copy of if this video resonates and you want a copy of my next video here in my series about how to turn rejection into actual closed sales, just drop a comment below and I'll send you that next video as well if you like what you heard here and you want that next step. But let's get right into it. We all know it's hard to take listings in this environment. So when you do take one, if it's priced right and you have a good marketing plan in place, it's probably going to sell, right? Which is great. That's one reason we want to take listings. However, when you take that listing, if you're not maximizing the opportunity to take other listings with that listing, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. It is not just taking that listing. This is something I learned earlier in my career, thankfully. Many mentors, kind of drummed this into my head, and I'm grateful. When I first started the business, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have any bad habits. I always say that was my blessing, what helped me in the beginning. So I didn't know what not to do or not. So I didn't argue. I just did what I was told, and lucky enough, the people who told me what to do knew what they were doing. So that's what I'm trying to do here today with you. So you have this great listing. You're marketing it. It's in place. Let's backtrack a little bit to the listing appointment. You're at the listing. You present. The seller agrees to sign the paperwork. You're so excited. They're excited. In fact, this is one of the most exciting times of the process for the seller. They believe in you. They have your confidence. This is their, belief in you is at its highest point here. You must, after all the paperwork signed, after you make sure that they are on the same page with your process and systems, before you leave, ask them this question. By the way, Mr. Seller, do you happen to know anyone else who might be thinking about selling right now who could use my great service? Smile, nod your head, wait for a response, give them a second. This is step 1. You'll be surprised how many times, again, they're so excited, they're going to think deeper here. They just hired you. When people spend money on a product, they want to tell all their friends and family about it because they want to justify, validate their decision. So they're going to tell, if they know anyone that's thinking about it, they're going to share it with you then, and they're going to go tell them, hey, this person is great. Here's what they did, X, Y, Z, and it's going to give you a really good chance at earning another listing. Right? So take advantage of that time. So you finish the paperwork, you start marketing the listing. Please don't leave it here and say, well, I asked that extra question. It didn't work. Maybe you didn't get a lead off of it, which is fine. You don't always, right? You won't always get a lead there. But again, you've planted the seed. And you started the process that shows them, hey, I want to help other people. Right? I'm not a secret agent. I'm not just going to say, hey, well, if you know anyone, I'm here, right? And just kind of wait. You're a proactive go-getter. And guess what? That's why they hired you. They don't want someone that's going to throw it on the internet and cross their fingers. They want someone proactive. So you're showing them you're proactive. Okay, so that's step one. Step two, the second opportunity is when that listing goes on the market, you want to make just listed calls. I've talked about these in other videos. These are super powerful with nothing else. If you're just giving people in the community some information about a listing. But when it's your listing, wow. Now that you're the listing agent, you've shared that you've got this home for sale, how many beds, baths, something nice about the property, and you said, who do you know that would like to move into our area? How many agents do you think are really doing that, right? Maybe they get a couple calls a month like that, maybe. A lot of them are probably more investors looking for off-market. Very few are actual agents who are trying to help them. Investors do it a lot, looking for a deal. But again, even then, it's only a couple times a month. So the first call might just kind of go through their ear. Oh, thank you. No, we don't know anyone. Your name kind of sits there. Obviously, one call is not going to do much. Now, I will say, if you get somebody that's thinking about selling, they will absolutely be impressed, and you'll have an opportunity to set an appointment right there. Because again, you're the person that's actually calling the neighborhood about your listing. You're proving to them, you're showing them with your actions that you actually do that you don't just throw it on the internet. This is really, really powerful, right? But even if you don't get anything, even if you don't get any appointments there, that's okay, because it sets the tone for one of our other steps in the process. So you've called the neighborhood, maybe a little mile vicinity there of the neighborhood. You've told them about the property. Should give you a list of, depending on the town, if it's a small town, maybe 300 or so. If it's a town where the homes are closer together, you can get 700, 800, 900 people to call there. Those are powerful, powerful calls. That is a great use of your time. If you want to break it up, do part of the list on the phone. Go out and break up your day, door knock in the afternoon if you don't have appointments. So now you're trying to get some people live. Same list, same script, same everything, right? Really, really powerful. So that's the second step to get another listing. You will absolutely, I have listed property where you set an appointment on those just listed calls because they're impressed that you're so proactive. They're open to interviewing you. Even if you've never sold a home, it doesn't even come up because you're hitting the pavement, you're making the calls. I hear so many agents, not so many. I've heard the story from some agents that say, well, we can't compete with veteran agents. It's just not true. There's always something you can bring to the table that the agent you're competing against can't. There's something that makes you unique in that situation, and that's what you want to share with the seller. The seller, if they hear the passion in your voice, if you really believe in what you're saying and you're passionate, they're going to believe, right? So find out what you do, what makes you different. Don't say it can't be done. Yeah, you're going to lose some to top. Guess what? I lose some to rookie agents. You can't win every one. In the beginning of my career, I would get 1 out of every 2. I'd only get 50% of listing appointments. But I was learning. I was going out there. I would think about what I could do different next time. And that made me better. So you're either going to take the listing or you're going to learn something that you could use in the future. So go out, set appointments on these calls like this. I can't tell you how. Would you rather go on a listing appointment like this or go show a buyer 3 houses in this market? Even if they like the house, what are the odds that they're going to get it? Right? Let's be efficient with our time. And let's educate people on the market and give them the best information possible to make a decision. All right? So that's the second step, just listing. Third step, you got that thing under contract. Congratulations, the property is under contract. The seller's excited. Oh my gosh, you came. Whether it was multi-offers, whether it sat on the market for a while, 9 times out of 10, the seller's going to be grateful you got their home under contract. They are very excited here. The home inspection hasn't happened. The mortgage contingencies haven't. They're excited here. After that call or that meeting, when you get that purchase contract signed and they're excited, again, their confidence in you is at one of its highest points here. this is when you want to ask. Now, ideally, a lot of times they'll say something like, "Oh, Robert, I really appreciate everything you've done here. We're so happy." Thank you. I appreciate that. Who else do you know who could use that level of service? Right? So if they compliment you, that's a great opportunity to ask always in that situation. If they don't, by the way, as you can see, the market's picking up here, or the market's hot, something about the market. Who else do you know that might be thinking about selling? This is your third opportunity to get another listing interview with that one we took. So this is the third. These questions take 10 seconds. Ask the question. Yes, the just listed sold calls take a little more time. It gives you something productive to do with your day. There's so many other layers to that I'm not even going to get into, that you could build your database, etc., that I've talked about in other videos. So productive. But these give you real listing opportunities because you're leveraging the listing that you took and now put under contract. So that's the third opportunity. 4, the property closed. So now in most cases, from the time the property goes under contract to closing, usually there's some ups and downs. Very few sales are just beautiful during that period. It's one of the reasons we have a job, right? Is we help people navigate that, stay calm, talk about what's normal, what's not, what's expected, what's not, help them get through that and listen. So when it closes, it's usually a big sigh of relief, right? This is your 4th opportunity to get a listing from that one listing. Okay? Same as when it went under contract. They're at one of their highest points with you. You came through during those tough situations. You were there for them. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I really appreciate how you communicated with us throughout the process and got your home ready and took care of XYZ. I appreciate your trust in working with me or my team, or however you want to say it. I'm wondering, do you know anyone else who might be thinking about selling? Right? And again, even if they gave you someone at those other 2, ask each time. I've certainly had scenarios where, again, this is usually it's a 60-day process. So from that first day you met them to now, they're going to hear different things. Their friends say, "Oh, you sold your house. How much did you get? Oh man, we're thinking about selling," right? Don't miss these opportunities. When they're talking about selling their house, that's spurring interest in their friends and family. And if anyone's been thinking about it, it's going to come out. There's a very strong chance they're going to know someone else. That's number 4. These are amazing opportunities to leverage one listing. All you have to do is take one. If you take one, look at all these opportunities you created. The chance to pull in more is just tremendous. It's just tremendous. There's some simple actions, some very strategic, system-oriented. Make this part of your routine so it just happens. It's normal. First couple times it might feel awkward, but the more you do it, it's just how you speak at that part of the process. We all have certain things we say. When an offer comes in, when a property closes, when we're showing property, we all have certain tendencies. Things will come. Make this your tendency. Good salespeople, I promise you, top agents, they're not missing these opportunities. These are their habits, right? They don't have extra hours in the day. They're simply very systemized, very strategic. They've learned what works and what doesn't. And they only do what works. These are little nuances, right? Someone could say, "Oh, I took a listing. Oh, I just make just listed call." Look at how much, these are nuances that you're missing if you're not doing them consistently. And they don't work every time. The consistency is what allows the snowball effect, the accumulation effect to happen when you just do it consistently and it's your routine. The 5th, and here's where, this is a really strong one, the 5th one. Now remember, you did your just listed calls, 60 days ago before it sold, maybe 75 days ago. Now you're going to call again. Same exact people. Now when they pick up, say, "Hey, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, I talked to you a few months back about the property on Banana Street. I just want to let you know that property closed yesterday or last week, whatever it was. It was on the market for X days. It was blank square feet. We sold it for $500,000. I was wondering, who else do you know who might want to sell while we have buyers in the neighborhood, right? Now they know you listed it and you're proactive. Now they know you actually got the job done. Oh, well, that Robert, he listed, he called, wow, he's proactive, and man, he sold it. It must work. What he does must work, right? All these calls. And that will get people that maybe had their guard up initially. Maybe they'll share someone, or maybe they themselves will be thinking about selling. But this is powerful. And worst case, you're going to get somebody that you can put in your database. You're going to create conversations where you align, where maybe they're not ready yet, but now you put them in your database and you call them quarterly and you mail to them. And when the time's right, they will list with you. And these are situations where many times they're not even interviewing, right? They're just impressed by your hustle, your willingness to share information, without, yes, we want to list property, but at the end of the day, you're just sharing this information. If you get a listing, great. If not, you're just doing your job. And when you take that approach, you're giving. You're not receiving. You're just giving. Then someone says, hey, I need help. Boom. Okay, great. Then we receive. But we're just giving and not worried about the outcome. We're just enjoying those processes and systems and having the mindset where we're just doing our job. And that's what creates the results down the road. So add these 5 steps to your listing process from the time you do your presentation to the time it closes. Let me know how it works.